Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys. My name is John Colson. I'm a Governor of the Shrine of Remembrance, and it's my pleasure and privilege this afternoon to welcome you to this very special place. We at the Shrine embrace the diversity of our community, and we acknowledge the Bunurong peoples of the Kulin Nation as the custodians of the land on which we celebrate and honour Australian Defence Force service and sacrifice. And we pay our respects to their elders, past and present. Your Master of Ceremonies for this afternoon, my dear friend, Mr. Peter Hartley. Peter.
Thank you, Shrine Governor Colonel John Colson, for your very kind welcome to the Shrine. We're very grateful that you are with us again today, and we hope you enjoy our service this afternoon. My name is Peter Hartley, and I have the honour of being the President of the 106 Tank Attack Regimental Association. I too would like to pay, on behalf of our association, my respects to the elders, to the first people of this land, the Wurundjeri people, and welcome them, part of the Kulin Nation, and I pay respect to their elders past, present and emerging. I would like to welcome everyone here this afternoon and thank you for coming along. We welcome the sons and daughters and grandsons of those courageous gunners who in World War II served our country in its time of need. As well, I send a warm welcome to the Cub Scouts and their leaders of the 1st Keilor Village Scout Group, who have been with us for many years. There is one Scout, Lachlan, who has attended all of our 10 gatherings here. He should be awarded a long service badge. I hope you learn lots from being here and being part of our remembrance service ceremony, and I'm looking forward to meeting with you later. This is the 3rd year that we are being live streamed, and there are many joining us online. Could I send a special welcome to some widows and relatives of gunners who live in Melbourne, and to those living along the Murray River, and to the 2 daughters of gunners who live in South Australia. There will be other people watching us too who live in regional Victoria and other states, and we send to you our best wishes and thank you for being with us today. We have received over 40 apologies for today, and we thank our members for their continued interest in our association. For the benefit of the Cub Scouts that are here, I would like to set the scene. We meet here in the Shrine for a service of remembrance, to remember the courage and sacrifice made by our fathers and grandfathers during World War II, and especially for those who did not return. In 1939, in Europe, was the start of the Second World War. A world war is one which involves all the major powers. In December 1941, Japan declared war on the United States of America, and Japan moved very quickly to invade all the countries of Southeast Asia. There was a large British military base in Singapore, and that fell to the Japanese in February of 1942. The Japanese invaded Indonesia, and then the northern parts of Papua New Guinea. On the 19th of February 1942, the Japanese bombed Darwin, and the bombing continued in northern Australia for 6 months. Everyone in Australia believed it was only a matter of time before the Japanese invaded here. The 106 Tank Attack Regiment was formed in Seymour in December of 1941. Originally there were 4 batteries, 21, 22, 23 and 24. But some 10 months later, the 23rd battery was split up and the gunners redeployed to other batteries. There were about 600 men in total in the 106 Tank Attack Regiment, and most of the gunners were 20 years of age when they enlisted. All the men of 106 identified with being part of a particular battery. They learnt military procedures and in particular how to accurately fire large guns. That is, they were part of the artillery forces. The men trained in Australia for 22 months, firstly serving on Australia's defence in Queensland, and then they sailed to Papua New Guinea and became part of the Coastal Defences Forces. They were in New Guinea for a further 13 months, mostly in dreadful conditions, before the regiment was disbanded. Thus they were together for almost 3 years, fighting to defend Australia. It has been our past practice at this service to have a guest speaker. Often these speakers have been gunners' sons and daughters, and they have told stories of their father's recollections in the war. This year, the speech will be completely different. I mentioned last year that we had an original gunner who made contact with us. His name is Maury Hart, and he turned 100 this year. He lives in Queensland. I've not met Maury, but I do know a lot about him. Maury's not tall. He's about that tall. And he does not walk with a walking stick, which is quite remarkable for a man of his age. He has a great personality and a sense of humour, and has a very clear memory of being in the war. One of our members, Graham Smith, whose father served in 106 and who now lives in Queensland, has made contact with Maury, and I'd like to thank Graham for his efforts in helping with this talk. The talk will be an audio recording made with the ABC earlier this year, just after Maury had had his 100th birthday. The audio will be played downstairs, and we'll see it or hear it before we go to lay the poppies at the 106 tree. In the talk, I want you to listen for 6 things. Maury is a member of Legacy, an organisation who helps widows and their children. Maury's been a member of Legacy for more than 70 years. Secondly, his reference to a friend. Mateship is so important to the gunners and everyone who served. Maury joined 106 when he was just 19 years of age. He was in Seymour for 3 weeks. Then he moved to Warwick in Queensland and then the Sunshine Coast. He was in 22 Battery. He went by ship to Papua New Guinea and to land at Buna. He was moved to north of Lae, a place he called Gazika Village. He saw action there and he was wounded. He was a gun loader. Lastly, he talked about making another landing in Medang, which is a city on the north side of Papua New Guinea. He said Medang was all horrible, full of booby traps. So all in all, we're very lucky to be able to hear from this man, perhaps the last of our gunners, a living national treasure, and we will be able to reflect on his memories. We now move to the formal part of our service.
Take post.
And I'm going to ask our honoured Treasurer, Mal Stewart, to lay the wreath on behalf of 106. And I'm asking the 2 Cub Scouts from 1st Keeler Village to lay the wreath. I call on one of our 106 committee members, Mr. David Topp, to read the oath, the ode.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you can, would you be upstanding, please? And remain upstanding until the conclusion of the national anthem.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. We will remember them.
lest we forget.
Please join in the singing of our national
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil, our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains that let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Shrine Guard Fallout.
Thank you very much, everyone. If you'd like to be seated, that's fine. Thank you. I'd like to finish with a list of thank yous. First of all, I'd like to thank Dale from the Shrine, who's put in many hours to help us. And Dale, we're very grateful. Shrine Governor John Coulson, thank you for coming this afternoon. We really appreciate your presence. I'd like to thank the members of our committee, Mel and David Henwood, who's not here, and put in a special thank you to Stan, who does hours and hours of work to look after our invitations and get the program today and reply to all the correspondence that's happened. So Stan, thank you very much. What will happen now is that we will move from here. Oh, I'm sorry, I've forgotten. The thing I feel terrible about, we have forgotten to lay the poppies in remembrance. So if you have a poppy, if you don't have a poppy, Daryl will help you. If you